You don't need a new program, you just need fewer decisions. Most people fail at their fitness goals as they try to change too many things at one time and often don't even choose the most important ones anyway. And this video isn't about hacks, it's just about 5 super simple changes you can use to turn your fitness goals around. And at the end of the video, there's gonna be one bonus shift you can do to make the other 5 amplify even harder. First, I want you to picture this. Every morning you wake up with stiff joints, start feeling creaky by midweek, feel terminal brain fog, your recovery isn't smooth, you feel like you're always just inflamed and like there's something wrong with your body. Now imagine you're on the other end where you recover fast, you think sharp, and just everything in your body feels like you're just running smoothly and you don't ever feel in that state of just grogginess. And this can really be affected by your omega-3 intake, which is something almost all of us are actually behind it. The reason the omega-3s are important is that they are in balance with the omega-6 fatty acids, and both of them help play big parts in just keeping your body how it is and keeping your brain sharp. When you have too many omega-6s, which is what happens in our current modern foodscape, it gets very, very dangerous and towards the lines of inflammation. So more omega-3s helps balance that ratio and just actually give you the amount of omega-3s you need to get their general benefits anyway. So if you want to start improving that intake, the best thing you can do is through your diet by stuff like chia seeds or fatty fish. And if you really need to use soft gels like fish oils, it is not a bad idea. And to easily build this into your routine, you either just have to change what you eat for dinners or snacks, or if you go the soft gel route, you just take them right after you brush your teeth, and it's that easy. Another thing I want you to imagine is that day where your energy just crashes after the morning, and you feel hungry after eating and eating and eating, and sometimes it feels like you just can't stop yourself, and you feel like you're still digesting terribly, and you also just might be feeling bloated. But you could be on the other side where you always feel flushed out, ready to move, and have stable energy throughout the day. And this is something that is achieved by having enough fiber. Fiber does 2 important things in your gut, and this is feeding helpful bacteria that help digest stuff and keep your gut healthy, which also comes out in your skin and helps with bloating somewhat, but it also just helps pass everything through and keeping you well flushed out so your body isn't really holding on to anything or getting constipated. So you, by increasing your fiber intake by either eating skins with the fruits on, putting fiber powder in your coffee, and there's so many other easy ways you can do this, and you will start feeling like a better human very fast. Next thing I want you to picture is you're that guy in there that's training consistently. You're eating decent, you feel very well social, but your mood always feels like it's dragging you down. But now imagine you're able to hit that gym with the same intensity, eat well, live out socially well, but instead of always just feeling this weird pulling down feeling, you just feel bright, vibrant, and normal. And this is something that actually could be impacted by vitamin D. It is shown to have many mental health effects when it is deficient, along with several other of your body systems also being impaired. And vitamin D is another thing like omega-3s almost all of us are lacking, and something you might want to look into using a very basic supplement for, which makes it really easy to implement, so you can just use it after taking your creatine, brushing your teeth, etc. By increasing your vitamin D intake, you're going to decrease your likelihood of depressive symptoms, your body's just going to run better, you're going to recover better, your bones are going to be stronger, and it's just going to help your overall hormones in general. So start looking into it if you want to change your health. And on the thought of being that person actively in the gym, the next thing I want you to think about is this. Do you want to be that person who smashes a new bench PR and then tears something in their shoulder, or finally hits that squat they've been going for, but now your hip feels like it's always popping, and just always feeling like something's off when you do those big lifts? Luckily, you could be on the side. You're always moving smoothly. Nothing really hurts or feels very mechanically limited while you're lifting. This is something you can do by actually exercising your stabilizer muscles as a focus. Your stabilizers are muscles like your rotator cuffs, abductors, glute med, your multifidus, and so on. And these will either help your joints move at a much smoother area, or they help your core stay stable, or in your pelvis, which keeps everything anchored in the proper way. When you squat with an uneven pelvis, you're more likely to tap into one leg, which could lead to injury. You will actually be stronger in the long run. And your likelihood to get injured when you get older by just walking around or going upstairs reduces dramatically. And this is really easy to implement because you could just do it as warm-ups, as you don't need to make these some insanely hard sets. You just need to get better at using the muscle and activating it during the lifts you already do. You feel like you're getting strong everywhere else, something keeps popping, your knees feel a bit weak, and you just feel like you're not moving the right way, and you feel like you're stiffening up, you could start hitting new weights without those fears, and you feel everything kind of release itself and feel strong. if you start giving your tendons a stimulus to strengthen. Most people like to forget about isometrics because it doesn't grow muscle, so then they kind of leave their tendons in the dust. The other ways you can hit your tendons is through that longer eccentric training you're doing, and when you pair that with isometrics, you're just going to have enough stimulus to kind of keep up with your strength gains. And all you have to do is add something like a 45-second wall sit to your warm-up or right after your last set, or my favorite thing is you pre-fatigue with an isometric, which is where you do like a 30-second close grip push-up and then just bang out some overhead tricep extensions. And that isometric is gonna help boost your tendon health, and you're gonna have more time under tension. And when you do an isometric like that right before the exercise, it actually generally increases your motor recruitment in that muscle during the exercise. So it's a win in every book. So when you start doing those 5 things, you will see your health kind of as a lifter in general, and in the long term, have a very nice increase. But there is one thing you need to do to make sure you can do these successfully and any other changes you think are necessary, and that is starting these habits the right way. Because when you're that person who tries to fix their diet, their gym routine, their sleep, seed oil consumption, and everything just all at once, they are always the ones that fail first because it feels more like an identity change instead of a habit change because of just the amount of stuff they're changing. But if you were to separate those 4 things into different incremental changes that you apply after mastering the other one, you might get there a little bit slower. You know you're gonna get there, and you're gonna get there at a sustainable place where you can do it for the rest of your life. So one way you could do this is just by habit stacking. Something like taking a vitamin D pill or a fish oil soft gel is you just already attach it to a habit you have. So since you brush your teeth every morning like a good hygienic person, right after doing that, you just take those 2 pills and that habit effortlessly seeps in, and you get the benefits of the vitamin D and the fish oils. And I cannot stress it enough, the way you progress this is one at a time. When you start getting those fish oils down, you've mastered that, you do it on repeat, then maybe you start taking the approach where you eat a little less calories. And then after that is feeling good and you feel like you're at a maintenance level, then you start focusing on the next thing, like maybe you want to eat more vitamin A, E, and C, and then you fix that issue, and you make those small incremental changes to make a whole big change instead of doing everything at once, creating an identity shock, failing. If you want more easy and actionable fitness content like this, subscribe for more.